Hey everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be discussing some theories and ideas I have for the finale. But as always, if you already know what goes down, that's great, but please keep it to yourself. I don't want to know if I'm right, I don't want to know if I'm wrong, I don't want to know what happens instead. As much as I enjoy making theory videos about the show, I'm totally fine with waiting until I see the episodes to find out what happens and not in the YouTube comment section. So if you could keep it to yourself, that would be wonderful.
Thank you all so very much.
Although for this video, because the finale is part 1 and part 2, I'm not going to split this into, oh, I think this will happen in 25 and this is in 26. It's more of a general, altogether, what I think could happen in the last day, and the name alone makes me want to cry. I think it's referring to a lot of things, the last day, one of them being the last day at school, which we've been told over and over again is getting ever closer.
Yeah, we know, and we don't care.
However, it is also referring to Gabriel Babes. As the synopsis says, it's his last day, and I'm assuming his last day alive. Dear God, I am not ready for, like, you know, what if he does die? Who am I supposed to call daddy after this? It's like the whole foundation of my channel. And my identity, to be honest, as a human being. Without him, I am absolutely nothing.
Come on, my lover. Come on, my friend.
Anyway, the title of episode 25 is Confirmation, and when you conform, you basically have no choice but to conform to certain rules, obey them, a bit like what we saw with episode 23 with Chloe's rule over Paris. The synopsis for episode 25 says that Gabriel Babe's plan is global, and I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a bit similar to the akumatization in Revelation. So if you don't remember, Lila was akumatized, and through using the alliance rings, everyone had no choice but to do what she said. You were only safe if you didn't have a ring on. In episode 23, Tom Away says that they've sold enough now all over the world, so part of me thinks that perhaps the events of Revelation were like a kind of like a trial run, and they're going to give someone the same Akuma, although not Lila, but more on her later, or there's some technology in the alliance rings that maybe, like, I don't know, controls people. The synopsis says that if he doesn't win, the world will be in chaos forever, so perhaps it's something only he can override, and if he does die, it can't be reversed. So right now I'm thinking some kind of, like, army that are controlled with the alliance rings that also operate outside of Paris, and perhaps all these people, I don't know, for example, may threaten to hurt important people in that area of the world if Ladybug and Cat Noir don't give up their Miraculous. So, fingers crossed. I am really hoping for some little appearances from Jess, Aeon and Faye. Especially Aeon, she is my baby, she is my daughter. I love her so heckin' much. However, I do hope this means it will be on hand to help, and also hopefully don't wear an alliance ring, so Ladybug and Cat Noir can get to defeating Monarch Daddy with their help, and oh boy. I'm not ready for this.
You ready for this? Never.
It's the showdown I've been waiting like 5 years for now. I'm sure some of you have waited longer than me, and now it's here and I'm like, can I have an extra month to mentally prepare for this, please? So assuming I'm right and the alliance is affecting people, I would think Marinette and Adrian are largely going to be okay because they don't wear the alliance. So whilst it might be difficult fighting off everyone in Paris, I think they're still going to come to save the day since they don't wear the rings. And I'm also hoping with Marinette's newfound knowledge she will head for possibly the Agrest Mansion. Now, after reading the comments under my representation commentary, half of you are with me and are like, oh my god, yes, why didn't Marinette have more of a reaction when she found out Gabriel Babes was Monarch Daddy? And the other half of you are like, wait, she found that out?
What the hell are you talking about?
And yes, I know Felix didn't name who the tailor was, but I thought it was so obvious, it was pretty clear that he was hinting at Gabriel being the tailor, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say in representation, because she was so, you know, just so enthralled with the cringiest play I've ever seen in my life. I hope she's going to open episode 25 with, you know, rethinking all this information over and working out who the tailor is. Like, she realised the play was in part about Felix, as she says his name during it. She's now found out he was being treated badly by his dad, and Marinette also knows Felix's mum is Amelie, who she knows is Amelie's sister, who is married to Gabriel Babes, and their child is Adrian. So giving her the benefit of the doubt, I'm being as nice as I possibly can, it should take her, like, you know, a couple of minutes to piece this all together and work out whose house she needs to set fire to. Like, from the information given to her, I feel like it's pretty clear once you give it some thoughts that the tailor Felix is referring to is his uncle, Gabriel Agrest. Like, I think she should be able to work it out. And, you know, he had the Peacock Miraculous, and then Felix traded the Miraculous with him in Strike Back to get it, making Gabriel Babe's Monarch Daddy now, and hopefully she'll also realise in this moment about the rings and what's going on. Like, please, Marinette, I swear to God, they've given you all the information you need. You can work this out, I promise.
Please.
As for Adrian, he has no idea because he's in a cell somewhere in London, but he does, also have a football table, which now I think about it is so cruel. Like, Kagami has what looks like a bookcase, which, reasonable. Reading is an activity you can do alone. In order to use a football table, you need another person. Dear God, Gabriel Babes, it's even worse. Like, put him in a cell. Terrible. And the only entertainment he has is a football table, in which you need 2 people to operate. Anyway, so he needs to escape, quite clearly, and I think the best solution, the most obvious solution, is Adrian being like, forget this, and transforms and cataclysms his way out of there, which, as we know, he's seemingly got unlimited cataclysms now. Failing that, I think it'll be Argos to the rescue, since he lives in London, he'll want to rescue Kagami as well, and failing that, I hope Best Boy Bodyguard does something. Either way, I don't really see getting out of this cell as being like a huge problem, to be honest. But I would love for Adrian to find out he's a senti monster in this finale, and for everyone in denial, here's the proof, the feathers in the background, when we're told Emily is pregnant. You cannot deny it anymore. But to be honest, I would actually really love Gabriel Babes to tell him. Kind of part of me wants Adrian to end up with like his identity revealed and his dad controls him and Adrian finally realises what's going on. He was kind of had that moment in pretension he didn't understand, and then there's like a fight between Ladybug and Monarch Daddy for the rings. And then we segue into the Lord of the Rings. And on top of this, we're going to have some fun, continuing trauma from representation. If you remember, Gabriel Bayes was akumatized, and he gave Cat Noir, Rose, and Julika these nightmares that seem to persist when they see something that's, reminds them of it. And for Cat Noir, his reminder is Ladybug, which is going to be so very helpful when they have to fight together. Now, since there was no Lucky Charm because she was very busy attending the theatre, there was no Miraculous Ladybug either, so this trauma was never cured. So part of me hopes that a bit like extending their powers in episode 23, that this is something Cat Noir can overcome by just, willing it, basically. However, his nightmare was about the damage he could possibly do. In Destruction, he cataclysmed Monarch Daddy, of course, and in Jubilation, he went to do the same to Mr. Damocles and also to Kim in Derision too. So there's a bit of, a worrying pattern developing here of when Cat Noir is like, all hope is lost, or he's very angry, he's just like, goes to kill people. So I don't know if this is like something being foreshadowed for later on, but I thought, I'd point it out and get you all a bit worried. But like I said, I hope this is something he can overcome with basically willpower, since that seems to be a thing now. Although just in general, I am very intrigued to see how Ladybug's power upgrade will affect this. Cat Noir's is just, more cataclysms, fair enough, but having more than one Lucky Charm is surely going to change the game, and I can't wait to see how it will. But oh gosh, the title of episode 26, Recreation. As we found out in Ephemeral, if you make the wish, you end up recreating the entire universe. So I do feel the obvious hint of the episode title is that. So does someone make the wish? Is it Marinette? Is it Gabriel Babes? Adrian? Natalie? Oh gosh, my queen, if you die, I'm gonna cry for a month. So the last thing I want to talk about is Lila, or Cerise, or Stacy, or Margaret. I don't know what her real name is. I don't think we're going to find out her motivation or backstory for why she's doing all of this in the final 2 episodes. I think that's going to be a next season kind of thing, since I'm fairly confident, and I have been since Time Tagger, that she is an ex-butterfly holder in the future, so it seems like that will be saved for them. However, she's still up to something, and I do think she'll end up with the Butterfly Miraculous by the end of Recreation. Now, I don't think this board gives us much clues as to what she's doing other than working out how certain people are connected and which ones she wants to get rid of. I think this one is more helpful. So there are 3 bits of red writing. The one on the left seems to be just random letters, but the middle one says Gabriel Agreste and the right one says École, which means school in French. So this seems to be a map. We know the school is right next to the Seine, which I think is the blue squiggles, and the solid blocks going across are bridges. This seems like it could be the park because it's square and is surrounded by houses, which is next to the school right after the bakery, which is at the start of one of those houses. So I think the rest of these squares are just houses around the Agreste mansion, between the mansion and the school. So I would think the crosses then are where Lila is maybe going to place the police robots that Chloe used. The red laptop Tomoe had in episode 23 has the override for the robots Chloe had, and while the leaked script shows that Tomoe switches it off remotely, Lila is determined to get it to work, which I think is what she's doing here. Failing that, she's shoving a screwdriver up her nose. It seems that Lila is ready to try and reconfigure it so no one else has control but her, and I think she's going to plant them in the vicinity around Gabriel Babe's house to get to him and the butterfly Miraculous. But the other specifics to her plan other than that, I'm really not sure as of right now, but I am hoping we get that official channel trailer super duper soon. So those are my thoughts, besties, at the minute about the finale. Like I said, I'm going to hopefully have extra ideas and theories as and when, hopefully, we get that finale trailer. I'd love to know what you all think, but please keep the comments leak free. I'll see you in the next one.